pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Okay, so we do have a quorum. I am noting Mike Fisher is out ill today. And does anybody else have any other business they need to add to the business? No?
Yes.
Yes.
I wanted on the agenda for discussing the city thing for that new training that we're required to do. New elected officials here. There's tree board.
Anything else? I will accept the motion to
I make a motion that we accept the consent agenda
with the and the agenda change.
with the agenda change.
Straight. Excellent.
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
And opposed? Right. So let's see, department reports. Let's start with my department report. I'm still trying to figure out what we can do on the dangerous trees we have going on. I'd like the city to be able to help with the 450 Cedar House property. He's asked us to contribute a little, and I think that's a good thing to do. Let's see, we spent our safety money already, but that would be, I think he's asking for 4,000 of the 20 from the city. That'll come in the future here. Hopefully by next council, but I'm not sure. It's been slow going.
Would that be setting the precedent?
No,
Would that be a gift of funds?
Well, there,
no, I don't think so, because it's a public safety thing.
but we did find some dangerous tree letters that didn't reference ordinances, and so we need to look to see if there actually is an ordinance regarding dangerous trees. And that's the question we haven't answered yet.
Let's see. The Christmas tree Santa Claus, I guess it's not really my status, but that's coming up on December 2nd. We've sorted out how it's been working in the past. We do need to add a few things to it. It did not include the city making sure that there's insurance to cover it, pay for a child to fall off the back of the car. So Rachel and Cindy are working with Nordeus on this. So that should be coming along again that Saturday, December 2nd at 4, starts at 4 o'clock. Since Mike's not here, I'll be getting with him for a timeline on setting up the trees and getting the whole Washington decorated. Budgeting is in process. I went to the mayor's meeting. Oh, okay. We're working on employee reviews. I'm going to do exit employee reviews, so the next mayor will kind of get an idea where we are, since I've basically been de facto managing the staff. So I went to the mayor's meeting. One of the big thing I talked about is this case we have on the what is the word on that? It's
Sexual misconduct,
section big trust. Yeah, and they're trying that as a gross misdemeanor, and the county prosecutors has refused to try it. So the city is paying the cost for the lawyer to try the case. It's going to pay the cost for incarceration, and just doesn't seem right that a town of 600 to 700 people is responsible for keeping somebody that's got 11 counts of such being charged with that we retrieved from Oregon. So not only are we protecting the citizens of Washington, but Oregon as well, apparently. the county, county commissioners were very interested to talk to me afterwards about it. I'm not sure what they can do. Again, this gifting of funds thing gets in the way of everything. So I'm gonna write a letter to Marie Perez as well to see if I can escalate it a little up to the state. I really think the state should be covering things that are this large in scope. So we'll see how that goes. Otherwise, we'll be adding $40,000 to our budget for incarceration next year. I had no idea what to pull out. Also went to the AWC meeting. It was a regional lunch. It was a pretty good meeting. I spoke to them as well. And not only are we being held responsible for policing criminals, but we also seem to be picking up all of the inflation for every agency above us. That's just passing down completely the costs of things becoming more expensive. The example I used at AWC was the state auditor in 2018, I believe, the hourly rate to be audited was $90, $90. Our 2025 audit's going to be $155 an hour. I'm sorry, the hourly rate is going to be $155 an hour. So they're definitely passing all of their rate increases to us. And I don't know how a city makes ends meet, given that going on. So anyway, anybody else have some good news? That's the mayor. Oh wait, so let's see that. No, I'm sorry. I get confused. I'm used to that being a council report. It's the mayor's report. Department reports. Public Works is not here. Do we have their?
There's a report in there.
No, I just don't have my iPad on me.
I can get it.
I mean, look at my iPad so I can actually see that.
Let's see, Public Works says they picked up the mixer motor that could not be repaired, still waiting for the price on the replacement from correct equipment. Working on the 2024 budget, and it's pretty much complete for Public Works. Rented a mini excavator and installed a couple of PUD poles across the drainage ditch to help protect the exposed water line from well 1. Hauled gravel to the park for potholes that are starting to appear. One of the bathrooms were vandalized and a sink was ripped off the wall at the boat launch. Should have it repaired ASAP.
Oh, Jerry. And as we discussed in the workshop, that his budget is not complete yet.
Correct. So that was still being under review. Okay. And it looks like Chief Dwayne is next.
Good evening. So I want to clarify what's going on with the Toledo Middle School case. So the prosecuting attorney for Lewis County declined a felony prosecution because they didn't quite meet the threshold of what they deemed to be a felony prosecution. So then it went to a gross misdemeanor. But I think what's being lost here is, I mean, I understand there's budget and there's funds that we need to be aware of. But I think what's being lost here is you have over, that we know of, 12 young women that have been groomed by this individual. And that is unacceptable. And in addition, there's some other information out there that some more other older classmates are now going to start coming forward. They have my contact information. As of yet, they have not come forward because they do want to take that information. Their voices are heard as well. So. Okay, so let's see, any questions on that, by the way? Okay. I'll just kind of paraphrase here. Turn my video down. Obviously, we're going to continue to provide that police presence at the Toledo Elementary and Middle Schools as a traffic deterrent, trying to get people to slow down. We're out there in the mornings. We have a problem with parents trying to drop the children off to the elementary schools. We've been out there at 7:30 in the morning. Standing there and asking the parents to go around back. And the reason for that is because the buses come in with the disabled kids. And that's why we're telling them not to park there. We do have one individual that's not listening. And I'll be handling that at a later time. So again, traffic deterrent, we're now switched over to the Winlock court system, which is good. Eric and Rachel did a good job with us on that, meeting with the Winlock court system and getting that established. I already talked about the middle school case. We have 3 individuals that are going to be applying, or they've actually applied, and they're going to be in the process on the 14th for oral board interviews. And we have a couple people that are sitting on that board. One will be Zoom, the other 2 are local. So 3 candidates.
And this is the lateral we've been trying to hire.
And I'm not gonna say anything about it. Every time I get excited about it, it south. You see me just kind of deadpanning, that's why. Very important, the Toledo Fresh Market had an amazing occurrence last Thursday with the elk jalapeno sausages.
Oh, awesome.
They were delicious. Good. Steven, did you get one?
I got it.
Okay. You barely got one. Okay. So that's just a little joke. We've got the probable cause statements in for the ongoing animal dog complaints, waiting to hear back. Some legal citations issued. I'll follow up on that tomorrow. Toledo high school football teams in the state playoffs.
Yeah.
Awesome. And I will be speaking at the elementary and the high schools as a guest speaker representing Veterans Day 2023. So I'm kind of thinking about that right now, what I want to talk about. So keep me in prayer because that's a large audience to be talking to. And last but not least, attended the use of force training in Moses Lake, which I was very excited to attend because it's going to limit the city's liability. There's some things in there that are new that I didn't know about, and that's good. That's why we put it for training. We'll make sure we incorporate that in our policy and procedure manual and get it revised and updated. Other than that, go Huskies.
Yeah.
Is there any Cougar fans in here? Oh, go Cougars! Thank you. Any questions? Darn it, I thought I was like, who do I go first? Rock, paper, scissors.
No, Adrian.
Before what?
How about
Before, the younger, more excitable Emily.
So. Back to the school thing.
Yes,
Because you repeat that for me.
okay.
If it turns out that more and more people report, does that elevate?
Very good question. That's a possibility. There's also a possibility that if the situation occurred in Oregon, then the FBI and the U.S. Attorney's Office gets involved. Whether or not that happens, I don't know. Those are all possibilities.
Crossing.
And it's out of my control. But that's a very good point.
Is that because he was currently working now in Oregon?
It would be just because it's different states. And I'm not saying he did that. I'm just saying if it came up and it was,
But he did take a job in Oregon.
yes, he did. He's not working there anymore. He's not working right now in Oregon, so
Oh,
that's good. Like Eric said, protect the children, so it's good. In 2 states.
Well, thank you for following up, and I think it's revolting that it's not being pursued to the utmost degree, but,
Also,
Oh,
because I wasn't going down full circle back. Your training, is that gonna be required for any possible, not get excited in your print?
well, I can make a copy of the book, give it to him, absolutely. Yeah, I have PowerPoint, so I'll on a book. It's great training, by the way, so yeah, I can give that to them, make sure that they understand it, and it will be in the policy too. There's some use of force things that I need to update. So another step in the department being in compliance.
Yeah.
Articulation, positive.
Oh, wait.
I'm done.
Okay, all right. Let's see. I've seen the state patrol in town. Are you in contact? with them? Okay, good. Awesome.
Do you want me to?
No, just, no, well, you can if you want to, but you're not.
So the kid is from Toledo, Phoebe, local kid from Toledo. And he's assigned here, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Same, I think it's Tracy, is it Tracy? Trace Beebe is his name.
Okay.
It doesn't matter, state patrol. Anyway, great kid, and, he's happy to be here back in this area, and there's been times we've worked with him to do an emphasis on speeding.
Yeah, well, I've seen him like go up the old 99s
Yes.
as well, so I was just wondering who that was. And then I've also seen the gate to the watershed open, and I'm wondering how often that is being checked down there. You know what I'm talking about? So
Robertson.
there's old 99 and then that road down there. So I've seen that gate open, and I don't know.
Isn't that public works?
It is public works, but
I can start checking. It's not something I really have been checking on.
yeah.
You want me
well,
to start checking on
it was open during the weekend.
I also found the sewer plant open last Sunday. So
Yeah.
that you might wanna.
I've been checking the sewer
Secure.
building right now. The last time you reported that.
Thanks.
So I can add that to my list?
I know it's a long list, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. That's what I'm here for.
I know, always applesauce on the porch. I still haven't forgotten. It's okay. That's all I know. Oh,
Kathy?
Thanks, Brian.
No.
I'm good, thank you.
Any questions? Oh,
Is there any indication of the school in Oregon where this person was working, is investigating? We continue to send activities down there.
I went down there and talked to the person and worked with the department down there, so I can reach out to them again and just try to get an update. You know, it's probably a good thing to do. Sure, not a problem.
Just looking at from a perspective of the other enforcement agencies will get involved with it for our budget.
Yeah, there's gotta be some kind of a funding request where a small town doesn't have to foot the bill for taking care of these young innocent victims. It's not good. I agree with this.
City Hall, so my 2022 SAO report is finally complete. Yeah, so, next year should be a lot easier, I've got the knowledge now, and I know they're changing things. We've gotten a lot of budget work done, mostly Eric working on the budget, finding mistakes, and then me going back and fixing it. We've archived a lot of old bars that haven't been used in years, it's pretty much reiterating what Eric said. I met with Lewis County Auditor's Office to go over the levy for 2024. He was super helpful, and so I'll have an ordinance ready next week for that. Billing went really smooth. Again, this last billing cycle, we had, I'm sure already saw, there was one person on Facebook with a really high bill. And that actually wasn't due to anything we had done, it was more just an issue with the meter, it's reading incorrectly. We're back on track with leak letters, which I think the residents appreciate the heads up. More progress made with archiving files. I had a shredder from May drop off, which makes it really nice because I can just go through and just dump everything in there and I don't have to waste my time shredding stuff. I went to the grant presentation with Joe for the Wiggle Stop, which went really well. And there was a lot of positive feedback from the people that were there kind of asking us questions. She did really good. And our insurance is up to date for the Santa Claus parade, and we were even sent a waiver, an indemnity waiver, to have participants sign for that, and that's really all I got.
So are we gonna manage the waiver or?
I'll manage it
Okay,
because last year I provided the law enforcement presence, so I'll just make sure that everybody signs it before they take part.
great.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Dwayne.
Yeah, that's awesome. Excellent. Yeah, it's nice to have the unused bars numbers gone. It's because you have to scroll through the list constantly all day long.
Can you explain what gone means?
Gone means, the little check boxes says active versus inactive. It's set to inactive. It's something we haven't used in 4 years, then it's inactive.
Right, it can still be brought up for,
It still shows in the reporting, nothing you can do hides it from the reporting, so. Great. Any questions for Treasurer? Great, thanks. Okay, Emily?
Let's see, the recycling event went really well. We filled up every single container and we had 22 appliances dropped off. So yeah, the Melanie Case, the woman who runs the transfer station up there will give me numbers on how much everything weighs and how many tires were dropped off in a couple months, so that'll be fun to see. An idea was perhaps before Cheese Days, we could get a trash container for the residents of Toledo. And somehow we could do a flat fee and break even. That was something that we talked about with the Hazelnut guy that other cities had done. Possible idea for the city of Toledo, that maybe the park department could take on. That was my idea. Perhaps that could be a fundraiser for that. So.
Explain. Jim.
So, as a Clean Up Toledo idea. So, the city could possibly rent maybe 1 or 2 trash containers. We would do a flat fee
Mhm.
and then people could.
Like for a specific weekend or something.
Yeah, like right before Cheese Days, you know, and then really do Clean Up Toledo. And then also that would be the same weekend, cause it's now the, recycle event will be, the last weekend in April and the last weekend in October. I've set that up with Melanie, so that will always be happening now. So I'm thinking that it would be nice to have something in April. It's just an idea, we don't have to say yes, but it's just a thought. Then, yeah, I went to, the AWC regional luncheon at, the old, hotel down there in Longview. What is it called?
Monticello.
The Monticello Hotel. And that was really interesting to hear that all the same, small cities and large cities are all kind of going through the same things that we are here, so. And then you were chatting with the CEO of the AWC, so that was kind of cool to see that too, so awesome. And
We'll see that it doesn't matter.
I mean, it's
More money, more problems.
exactly, small money, small problems.
The problems are just bigger.
Exactly. Let's see, and let's see, I haven't heard back from Todd Shabbat or Amy Buzzard about the grant, for water main. And we lost out on the RCO thing. The end.
Something I think, did I say that during the public works? The water main is exposed. I don't know if y'all know that. We're trying to get the emergency grant for that. Public Works did take a couple of telephone poles that we had and rented a little tiny mini cat that they squirreled down the hill, and we now have two telephone poles running across where it is, with a mound of dirt to hold them in place on one side. So if one of those trees does fall, it'll have a bigger area to catch. So that's kind of our emergency temporary patch until we can get the $1.25 million it's gonna take to fix it.
Sorry, I'm not.
Thanks for reminding me.
Okay. Also, I signed up for the city council or the council training or not council, the elected officials training. And cities under 5,000 get a free sign up with a code that is there that you can click on, copy, and drag down, and then you can either go and have a free lunch, or you can stay in your house and watch them online. So
That December 9th.
that's December 9th. And it's
And that one is actually in Battleground.
it's in Battleground or Olympia. I'm choosing. And it's also 5 credits towards your okay, the end. Badge. Okay.
Yeah.
Rebecca, this is the first, you've outdone us all.
I know.
Printed status,
Well,
and thank you very
I
much.
didn't print it out, it was
It's a
forgotten.
fantastic idea, I should probably do it.
So I attended and passed the CPR class at the fire station. I'm hoping I don't have to practice it. I plan on taking it again in the spring because it was a lot of information in about 3 hours, but yes, it's, don't anybody have a heart attack. I went to the Meet the Candidates event and I was kind of hoping there would be more folks there, but there was a decent turnout and I thought the interaction was good and it was something new for me, definitely. I finished some more of the online council training, learned some tips for small retailers, but I may try to figure out how to get the information to our business folks, because that was one of their complaints, that we don't reach out to them enough, so see what happens. And also took one on lobbying our state's legislator for our city, which was pretty interesting, but again, I don't know when I'll have time to do something like that, and I think I need more background information, who we are before I can go talk to anybody at the state level. I encourage all of us to review, all of us to review the running the elected board meeting. Had a lot of good tips on how to keep the meetings on track and what kind of things to stall meetings out and that's-
I'm good at that.
we're all good at it. I mean,
Like stalling?
Stalling hard.
interrupting is one of them. Yeah, I wish I could get my boss at my other job to take it. But, and I thought our first few now budget meetings have gone well. I run a constant state of improvement, but I feel like it's coming together. That's it.
Excellent, thank you. Kathy?
Concerning the budget. This is my second go around. It's a lot to wrap your head around. But I appreciate the work that you two have done updating and getting rid of the extraneous and incorrect things that interfere with getting clear reports. I like that. And also, with Rebecca attended the Meet the Candidates. And it really was a good turnout from, I thought, a lot of our community members. It was good to see how many came. More is always better, but it's good. Glad it happened.
Who was the term?
That's all.
That is, okay, thank you. Planning Commission,
Jamie,
oh, oh, sure enough. Sorry, Jane.
Excuse me. Okay, so, basically, the only thing I have to report is I went to the Meet the Candidates tonight. And, there's an inference that this city council is not doing a good job and is not being cooperative with people. And so I wanted to address some of that. So what I do know is due to this city council and a former member, because you're new, but you are participating and our former member. Due to that, we are not shackled to a Napavine police contract that we were hardly opposed to. We rejected it because it would implode our current city budget for police protection. And it would shackle us to annual increases so that there's no way that we would have the opportunity to have our own police force and expand our own police force. So we rejected that. And at the next meeting, the former mayor returns and vetoed us passing that. And he said the only way that you can reject that is if you override it with a 2/3 vote. And we unanimously overrode that veto because it gave us the opportunity to have our chief. And we fully supported our chief getting hired and made sure that that happened too. And the citizens have also embraced our chief, who is an asset to the city. The citizens didn't want a Napavine contract either. They wanted a police force in town that they could count on and know. Okay, and prior staff reported a personnel issue. We acted on that immediately and had all of us on the council, all of us staff, the mayor, everyone was assigned harassment training to address that. And so it wasn't our issue when they left. It was not our issue. That was misconstrued. It was reported. It was misreported. We were not asked about it. It was only asked by certain people, to certain people. So there was only one side of the story put out there. And I'm tired of listening to it. I was told, well, just let it go. Eventually it'll go away. It's been almost a year and it's not going. So I'm speaking now because I'm tired of listening to it. The other thing that City Council has done, we've requested financial reports for an entire year and we couldn't get them. And it comes out now, especially after our audit, that it wasn't being done correctly. And they didn't know what they were doing. We have somebody now who has taken the reins, has jumped on it, and put both feet in an effort to make sure that things are done correctly for the benefit of the city. The budget processes for this year are going well. And last year, we completed the budget for 2023, and it actually balanced thanks to Eric's hard work on the spreadsheets and getting everything to balance. That hasn't been done for decades, from what I've been told. So we worked very hard to make sure that this was happening. And we stood behind our people when our people needed to be stood behind. But if you're not going to take accountability for your actions and what you're doing, then we can't support you. We've worked on transparency. We've made it a priority. We've posted our meetings, our agendas online so that everybody knows what's going on. So if you're interested, you'll come and participate in the meetings. People have the opportunity to speak during the meetings. There's something carved out during every meeting where you can have your say. And that hasn't changed. What's changed is the transparency that they know what's going on and they have the opportunity to see what's going on. So we have also addressed handling our own permitting process. What that means is that the county doesn't get all the money now for new construction, that we will actually realize funds for new construction. That's a benefit to the city. That's a benefit to all the citizens too, because it helps our budget. what else? Oh, employee reviews are going on now. They haven't been going on since I've been in office. I don't know how long it's been since employee reviews were done. So, we're asked to approve raises. But if you don't know what the employees are doing, how they're doing, are they progressing? And if you're not touching base with them so that they know that they're included in the process, they know that you're interested in them, that's not useful. And we can't approve raises for something we don't know is happening. So, and I could probably go on and on and on, but I just decided enough is enough. We tried working with the mayor. The mayor chose not to work with us. He was dead set on doing that, that Napavine contract. And we were dead set against it, as was the citizens were dead set against it. We had people come in here and say, no, we don't want you there. We want somebody in the town that is going to look out for us. We asked the mayor why he was dead set for this contract. He couldn't give us a reason. We gave him numerous reasons as to why that contract was bad for the city. So it's a matter of who was working with who and who wasn't working with who. And I'm done. We've had my vent.
Thank you, Jamie. Just to clarify a couple of items, not a single person in this room had anything to do with the harassment issue that she was referring to, which is a closed session, so we can't actually talk about it. That not a single person in this entire room, including myself, had anything to do with it, other than taking the classes.
Thank you for pointing that out.
Permitting has been almost a 2-year process. Terry, did you do reviews of the employees? When did you? So your last year you did them? Or so?
You're talking back years ago, I'm old, but yeah.
So after the reviews you did, the next review to be done was written by myself in 2022, and the mayor refused to do another one after that. So we'll be doing the second review since you left office, just so that we can have a transition for the new mayor elect. And it's something that needs to be done. And so
Every year.
it should be.
Well, and new employees should have reviews within 3 to 6 months,
Yes.
because they need to know, are they on the right track?
Yes, and actually.
I just did a 30-day with Carly. I'll do a 3-month and a 6-month, just to give her a base of where I want her to improve, where she's doing good. And I can get feedback from her on where she needs help, what, what interests her, what she doesn't necessarily like doing, but, I figured 30 days, 3 months, 6 months, and a year. And then she's doing it for a year. Yeah, 100%. I think it's important.
Okay, thank you for all that information, Jamie. It was definitely difficult to hear. It was difficult to hear the people up there speaking and talk about how we're gonna make changes and actually have a council that cooperates with the mayor. There is a point where the legislative branch needs to protect the citizens from the executive branch, which is doing things that are detrimental to the citizens. And that's exactly what we did. Not a single one of us wanted to do a 4-vote supermajority to veto 2 things, which was the signing of the worst contract I've ever read in my life. And the other thing we had to veto was the refusal to hire Dwayne. So I'm proud of those 2 things. If that means that I didn't, that we didn't cooperate with the previous mayor, then I'll still stand by it. Anyway, enough of that. Thank you very much. On to, and you spoke about permitting. I'm really proud that we're getting through permitting, because that's actually going to bring much needed revenue to the city. And to that end, the person doing the yeoman's work on that is planning commission. So I'm ready for your.
So like, I really want to follow.
You want to follow that? Tell us the happy stuff. We've got happy
He
stuff.
took his coat off, so he's getting ready.
Well, like I said,
We've got happy stuff going.
well, it's funny because, when I got out of college, I went to work for an engineering firm. And it was very important. So I spent 12 years as a law enforcement officer and as a detective sergeant for years, and I handled my share of civil service reviews on a semi-annual basis with that, because you couldn't discipline someone if you hadn't shown that they had been advised of the progress they needed to make, where they were falling down, what you wanted them to do, what you expected in the future, and you had time to, tables set aside for those things to happen. If you don't do reviews, how can you ever discipline anybody and make it stick? You can't. But getting back to planning. We held a workshop today at 4 o'clock with the planning consultant and myself, Eric and Rachel, and putting together the flow chart essentially for how we're going to handle building permits. As you know, the way it used to be is that someone came into the front desk, talked to Michelle, they filled out an application, gave her $20, and they were sent off to the county, and the county collected $3,000 or $4,000 and handled everything. Okay. We have done a ILA with the city of Winlock's building inspector, so we will outsource building plan check and inspection services, but there's no reason why the city itself cannot handle the other paperwork duties, so that the revenue that's generated stays in the city. And with the 2 subdivisions that look to be in the near future coming our way, that is a lot of dollars going into our budget.
Steve, if I may,
Yes,
we took our $20, but they didn't do all the work. We were supposed to have done a large amount of work, because all they really do is they make sure the house or the thing you're building is built correct. They don't care where you're building it. Once the city signs off on it, as long as it goes where you said it's gonna go,
I made that phone call. I asked, I said, if somebody sends you a completed application signed by the city, what do you check? Nothing, only that it meets the building code. Because that's what we're concerned about now is the building going up, because you've already given your okay for everything else. So no SEPA, no building, plot plans, nobody does the setback checks, nobody does anything like that. And the county wasn't doing it, so it was not happening at all. And that's gonna change. No Lewis County growth meeting next month, so no more hand grenades for a couple of months. And let's see if there's anything else. There was something I wanted to bring up too, but I'm sure it'll come to me after.
Helps us.
thank you.
All
The
right.
money that we had to refund to Mr. Piles last year was a prime example of us falling down on the job. There was a piece of property that if you turned on the hazardous slopes, which is purple on the GIS, it was solid purple. It had a steep slope on the one side up and a steep slope on the other side down. It was completely inside of the creek setback, 100% in the creek setback. And we drugged that poor man along all the way along of doing a lot line adjustment. We sold an alley, we charged him fees. And we need to, that was kind of the wake up that we need to do better. And the way we do better is we take the money for the permit and we use that to fund planning. So thank you for all your hard work on that. Park board, do we have a park board person? I heard park board had things to talk about with the budget.
You guys got stuff to talk about?
You have something to talk about?
I just got a report, that's just basically an operational thing.
Maybe that's like a park.
You wanna start? You start.
I watched the park board meeting. I wasn't physically there. I could not physically make it there, but I did watch it and I did talk to Mike. So they talked about, it's everything that's in here that we're gonna talk about. So they talked about RV spots and increasing them, basically unchanging everything else, increasing the RV spots by $5. And, is that seasonally or in general? In general.
In general,
In
yeah.
general.
That would be the summer rates, actually.
But we're also, they also talk about changing rates on the various, both through, the various, because there is some rate adjustments we could do on that.
The rationale for the increase is to help offset the cost of camper included Wi-Fi access in
on the agenda.
2024. I'm just reading it off of here. So
Yeah, that, yeah.
this is it, yeah. So.
And you're also looking at potentially a different, software package to, or different
That hasn't been
service.
presented to park board yet.
No, it has not.
Yeah, one of the things that we can't do with the current package is we can't divide the kitchen. So we could get in a position where we could rent the kitchen in the morning and then rent it in the afternoon, but we can only have a 24-hour period for rental. So there have been a number of cases this year where we could have fit multiple kitchen rentals in on the same day. Helps the people, they want the service, it helps us because we're maybe make a little more money on it.
Park board is going to take ownership of the Welcome Park event. And they're going to bring, oh.
You're gonna be reading that again.
Yeah,
It's on the
exactly.
agenda.
Oh,
Okay.
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 Okay, great.
This is the only
Thank you.
thing on that.
Okay, great. Thank you. No public hearings, no special presentations. Jamie was talking about your opportunity to speak. This is the point where public
Oh.
comment on.
Tim actually did have just a park.
I'm sorry,
report.
Tim, hold on.
You didn't want to say anything.
I'm good. Operationally, we're running along, we're cleaning up, you know, not really real issues. We've had just a few bumps here and there that have been easily cleaned up, and right now it's just getting rid of all the leaves. It'll all be nice when it's all said and done. Other than that, question?
Yes,
Go ahead, please. I
let's,
look forward to it.
let's say you want to leave town a little bit. And you have reservations coming in.
Mhm.
How are you gonna handle walking out your time leaving?
So my time gone was based on when I first set our contracts up, that winter would most likely be our times that we're really gonna be gone. Such as the case of this year. We'll be gone for about 10 days. We're gonna be out. And in that time period, when I hit my blocks of time will be, right now, we're based on everything as last year. I had nobody in that park, I had 4 people. And that was it. And what we actually did is the mayor at that time, he said, we're gonna close the park. And so no vehicles were allowed, and then I worked with Public Works that dealt with anything with bathrooms and kind of stuff, they would check on the bathrooms. But other than that, those gates were pretty much closed until we came back.
And,
That's how my plan would be for this year again.
and we can shut the reservation system down.
Yeah,
During
we
that
would just
period
shut
as
it-
well.
we would either shut the reservation, which is new, but the gate could be closed again. I have not received any information whether the park will actually even be open in the winter. And I think that's something the board would have to discuss. I have not been given that direction. And that was actually brought to my attention a couple of times now.
That's on the agenda.
Yeah, yeah, whether or not the park is stay open or not. My 2 cents is I have an opportunity, we have not really had an opportunity to go back and look at the data. Because we had no system last year. We didn't start a system until April. So we really don't know, unless we're just gonna base this off of history. Yeah, we have 5 or 6 people stay. That'd be about it. There's no true data to that until it actually gets worked out. So you guys all discuss that. Other than that, the squirrels are good and clean up. I'm just cleaning up weeds.
Not the weeds.
Not the weeds. Any other questions? Okay. Chief, thank you.
Thank you. Sorry for attempting to skip you.
Oh, no, you're.
Public comment
Is this
On
for
agenda
everything?
items.
on agenda. There's a public input at the end as well. Nothing? Okay, great. New business, police department radio purchase.
I make a motion that we approve the police department radio purchase.
Second.
Okay, so this is a great example of one of the things that we can do under our, as far as procurement, because this is a NASPO, they have a NASPO purchase agreement, which means they've already been vetted as going to be providing, that they're qualified and will provide the best price. They actually give a 30% discount to accomplish that. So it's $2,000 and that gives two radio setups. Our radios are very old and it's actually what has been a problem for the chief, so.
Clarify, they're portable radios.
The portable radios.
Yeah, it's an officer safety issue.
Anybody else?
Yeah, these are very old, they're broken down and literally pieced together week by week. Just to have one on, right now, it's basically, if they were to call me and say, I have a call for you, I have to go to my car and use that microphone to talk to them. I can't get out on this. So it's basically a monitoring thing, that's all it is.
And chief asked for 3 of them. I asked him to please wait on the 3rd one until next year.
Yeah,
So,
two's fine.
we don't get a discount for buying all 3 at once, so 2 is gonna do us just great for now. So that's $2,073.49. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Passes. Those next.
I make a motion that we accept the police department shields purchase with donation. Approved, sorry.
I second
Okay, a motion and a second for police department shield
Can I-
purchase.
Can I just speak briefly?
Sure.
I just want to make it clear that the Allen Trafton family is the one that donated the money for this. And to me, that's really, really awesome to see a community member step up like that. And it's something that we actually have to have in our use of force program, it's a shield. So on the shield, we're gonna have in memory of Allen Trafton on there, because his family donated it to the police department. And I just applaud him for that, the family.
Any other discussion?
So are you planning on ordering 2 or 3 or?
I think it's 2 right now, if I remember right. It is 2. 1 for each patrol car.
And that's.
Does everybody know what they are? Okay, so it's for a worst case scenario, somebody goes to our school and they're shooting it up. You know, it's something that we put on our arm and we go and take care of the threat. It's gonna stop us from getting killed as we take care of the threat. So it's a very important thing to have. We don't have them. We've never had them as far as I know. And it's actually something required by the new laws in the state of Washington for the police department to be in compliance. And Mr. Trapton's family is enabling this to happen, so again, my appreciation.
And looks like they're $600 each and. You're
Plus-
well,
Plus cases.
plus cases, okay. Okay, any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
And opposed? Great. Passes.
Aye.
Oh,
You guys were too fast. Aye.
next item is Lewis County Jail Bed ILA renewal.
I make a motion that we approve Lewis County Jail Bed ILA renewal.
Second. Looks like this is the.
The table.
Family night.
It is,
Motion and a second for the Lewis County Jail Bed ILA. This ILA charges us $94.27 for every calendar day that they incarcerated inmate.
So that.
So this is, they run
We
this
have
on
a lot of. See this thing, but with jail time, we.
Yes,
paying-
that times 360. Yes, we have somebody right now that's an older case. I think it's a DUI case that's been out, so we are currently paying that stay price. One of the things that the county commissioners brought up is that they already give us a crazy good price. And I think that the way they're getting away with that is that, because it's not a gifting of funds, I think they're charging us, given their sunk cost, is the price, they already have sunk cost, they're running the jail, whether a person is there or not, so I think they're just charging us what it takes to house them in addition, so I'm assuming that's the food and laundry and clothing and such,
Single ply toilet paper.
yeah.
And do we have any other options?
There is an option, Dwayne has been talking about, Dwayne did. As far as.
Yes, but it's something that we can't,
Yeah,
we
we're
can't do it right now. I can.
Yeah, we're gonna fire up the old jail.
Yeah, we're gonna get a vote.
We're getting water on it.
So,
No, that's not.
Yeah,
Okay,
let's see. So it's been motioned and seconded and talked about.
okay, and that's it, okay, all in favor,
Aye.
and opposed? Okay, motion
I
carries.
do have
Go ahead.
another question.
Okay, sure. Have at it.
Because they sent us the amended part only. Is there some reason we couldn't get the entire contract presented to us?
For the.
We probably could, but it's really long and, yeah, boring. But yes.
Do we have a copy of the whole thing? I wonder.
I'm sure we do. I believe our deadline for this is to get it turned in tomorrow.
Yeah.
No, it probably hasn't.
Well, it's fine,
changed.
we've approved it, but we should have a copy of it, like a copy of it.
I can make sure that we have
Probably hasn't changed in years. It's pretty good.
So we-
Price and it's just the price and then agree.
You should make sure that it's on record for 1 year.
Yes.
Yeah,
This contract is going to. That's not, we need to make.
Yes, amendment number, yeah.
okay,
That's it.
great. And then
I think what's wrong.
next item, Lewis County IT contract renewal.
Anybody else can do this?
So. This is for 911 or I got a little lost looking through what.
This is for like our spillman, and our technical support and after hours emergency calls. And this is who we're contracted with. Through Lewis County, that's approved by CGIS. I'm not really sure if there's a lot of people that we could use
Yeah, so
for
the,
Lewis County
yeah,
IT.
yeah, no, this is county dispatch, that,
Yeah,
right?
Oh, right, okay, all right.
I make a motion that we approve Lewis County IT contract renewal.
I'll second it.
We have a motion in the second. Additional conversation.
Yeah, so we just voted on, 911 emergency funds. Is this tied to this or?
It is not. Yeah, this is,
The
this is,
emergency part is when there's an emergency in the computers. Phone systems.
yeah, this is so you can call 911. That's the other one, so you can call 911. This is the county dispatch that organizes, you know, Dwayne and a team, you know, and you hear Napa Vine in there, and you hear all the other cities as well, so. It's PD dispatch. Basically, that's what I would call it. Okay, did we get a motion?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, we got Emily. Yep. Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
And opposed? Motion carries. Park board, apparently we already talked about this.
I have one comment though, the kitchen per day 88 non-resident. And the kitchen per day 55 non-resident.
Oh,
No.
typo.
I assume the 55 is for a resident.
Correct.
We'll have to fire the person.
Really? Really?
No, I tried. Yeah, fire a call.
Okay, is this something we are approving?
You could either approve each individually or them as a batch, but the park board has brought these recommendations to council to approve and start implementing. And for the sake of the audience, it's not that long if someone would like to read it.
Kemp Olson Park 2023-2024 recommendations. Action, the park board would like council approval on following items. 2024 Kemp Olson RV summer camping fees. RV spot per night, $40, $5 increase, tent spots per night, $20, unchanged. Kitchen per day, 88, non-resident, unchanged. Kitchen per day, 55, resident, unchanged. Dump station, $5, unchanged. The rationale for the increase is to help offset the cost of adding camper included Wi-Fi access in 2024. The board thinks that this $5 increase will not deter campers from coming to the Kemp Olson Park and will explicitly add Wi-Fi included that will make the park more attractive to visitors. Wi-Fi password management will be implemented to cut down on unauthorized use. 23-24 Kemp Olson RV winter operation. With Firefly reservations in place, the park board would like Kemp Olson Park to remain open from November 1st to March 30th. The board would like to gather data from reservations, booking, and utilities expenses in the winter months to be better prepared for future planning. The board is not recommending any increase in winter rates until a full year's data has been gathered. The board understands that Kenders may want to get away during the slower months of the year. The board is amenable to the park closing if when the Kenders want to get away. The board does ask to be informed of closures so they can include those dates in their data gathering activities. The board is aware of the RV dump station's non-winterized status and that it will be closed based on Public Works recommendations. Esther Gordy Walk in the Park coordination. The Toledo board has unanimously approved to take coordination ownership of the Esther Gordy Walk in the Park event. The board would like council's approval for this change of responsibility. The board plans on bringing proposal changes and city assistance items in early 24. Assistance could take the form of small budget items for promoting the event. The board plans on selling advertising to offset the cost of t-shirts or other memory items. It is the board's understanding that City Hall is willing to help, but needs specific direction and action items. Park board member participation requirements. The park board has reaffirmed the established requirements for park board membership. 3 park board members must be Toledo city limit residents. 1 member may come from Toledo Vision mayor's strategic planning team. One member may come from Toledo Lions Club. The board would also like city council to concur and affirm these membership requirements. Thank you in advance for your consideration on these matters. The City of Toledo Park Board. Mike Morgan, Mary Harold, Ron Inman, and Ms. Kim.
Okay, would council like to vote on this as one item or break it apart?
Park board recommendations. I vote, so I make the motion that we approve the 2023-2024 park board recommendations.
I'll second it for discussion.
Motion in the second, and there's discussion, but if I may start with my question. We will need to confirm on this Wi-Fi use that Toledo Tel is okay with us redistributing Wi-Fi usage. And additionally, I hope they know there's gonna be a hardware requirement in order to pull off range requirements and number of connections that it will take to actually supply Wi-Fi. We will have to approve.
This park board will do that information.
I think Mary Harold was kind of taking the lead on that.
Okay.
She may not know to that level, so I'll make sure
Right,
that
she may
information gets to him.
Technology's gotten cheaper and cheaper, so I'm sure it's not that bad, but it's probably definitely more than your Wi-Fi router. Tim?
That was one of mine. And the other is, has anybody discussed with our park guy and with Rachel how this is going to affect things? They're talking about fundraising. And is that going to involve Rachel for recording the funds? And if you're gonna have to be changing the Wi-Fi all the time, how's that gonna work in your schedule?
Well, I would think that it'd go back to IT, and whenever we go to sign up, the password is probably generated for them.
It's,
don't know.
it's not much of a burden to change a Wi-Fi password
Yeah.
on a periodic basis.
Okay.
So let's see, the park board is not its own, the park board is a city thing, so it does get complicated running a fundraiser through a non. So,
Those fundraisers are city sanctioned fundraisers. So the walk in the park, so this year's walk in the park, the money that was gathered was handed to Rachel and she deposited it and recorded it.
who supplies, so the city will supply the money to fund the purchase of the t-shirts in advance, is that what we've done historically?
That has been done historically, but depending on timing, I think, you know, advertising revenue might be able to offset the actual production of the
Oh, I
t-shirts.
see what you're saying, like, okay,
Yeah.
a list of.
Yeah. So it could be upfront spending by the city that's reimbursed based on the sales. So I think that, I mean, those things are gonna come
And the
before.
park does have its own budget moving forward, so.
Right.
That'll be beneficial to them.
But I think if there's something that council needs to approve, the park board will bring it to your attention.
Any other,
I had a question on the sewer in the winter time. Public Works decides since it's not winterizable, but it has to be shut down, then the Firefly reservation system can either reflect that we don't have sewer available during that period,
Or is it just the pump station,
It's just the dump station.
it's just the dump.
Oh, just the dumps. Okay. And I don't know anything about that stuff, so would that be for several months at a time that it's not useful, or just?
Yeah, well, it's frozen.
Well, it's frozen, and we just put a sign up that it's frozen, don't use it.
Not operable.
I wouldn't, I'd hate to see somebody, my son has an RV now, I don't want him pulling up and dumping when it's not gonna go anywhere.
Well, it goes somewhere.
Well, yeah.
So we don't want them to have.
how is the public notified that might drive through? If there's just a sign that's closed.
Is it locked now? Is there a lock on it? I don't know,
I'm like,
on the dump station.
No.
So it
I
just,
zip tied it last.
Is
I used to zip tie it last year. Put in signs, so you got a service.
But
And
there's
this
a
is
fee, so how is that handled?
Sylvia?
There's a fee for it, so how is that handled?
Well, the feed happens when you get there, so you get there and you see that it says it's closed and you don't put the money in the box.
and a camp reservation includes a dump use.
Right.
So we would have to change,
Yes,
we would
so we
have
can
to
try,
have something in the winter so that. we're
Not
stating
available.
that we're- Yeah. not
Yes.
letting them.
correct. The question is, I guess it needs to be communicated when that gets shut down. I mean, it usually won't get shut down until it looks like there's a big freeze coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, January, February.
It'd be nice in the future if the park board could take some of the revenue and figure out how to spend it to make that.
To winterize it. Yep.
We'll get there.
It's been first and then second.
Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor?
I got one more
Oh,
last
yeah,
question.
yeah.
How many members make up the board now? Five.
But there's a vacancy.
Okay, so three and one. So it could be five members from Toledo city limits,
It could.
It could be.
It could.
or three plus, or four plus one or the other, or three plus each one.
Yes.
So I think what they're inferring is you could be a Toledo Lions Club member, not live in city limits and still be eligible under that one.
But it's possibly you could be a Toledo Lions Club member and live in city limits.
Correct.
Okay, I just wanted you to, one of those silly things. Okay, I'm satisfied now.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. City desk purchase for City Hall. Okay, so one of the things I've noticed is we have this, but,
We're not in discussion yet, though.
oh, okay, you're right. Go ahead.
I make a motion that we approve the employees, new desk situation.
I second that.
Okay.
Now, Eric.
So, so one of the things that we have in our budget, a line item for wellness. And the reason for that wellness line item is to get a 2% discount on our insurance. Now, it hasn't historically been used for wellness. It's been used to check the box that say that we do spend money on wellness. So what I would like to, what I'm proposing to do, having now worked for 2 months nearly full time in one of the desks at one of the computers in the office, it is worse than horrendously bad. It is terrible. The chair, I brought my own chair, I brought my own keyboard, I brought my own mouse. I have to live with the world's worst displays. The lights overhead are abysmal to work under. The desks are bad, the chairs are bad. We're starting with the desks. They're large purchases. They are desks that are L-shaped because desk space is at a premium when you're
9,000 things.
9,000 things. Yeah, it's definitely, I spend more time trying to make what I'm trying to work on. It also has a button, it stands, it lets you stand. There's the wellness part. So this is the beginning of a number of purchases that are going to happen. Requested, and it's going to be chairs. It's going to be the vision software would be 50% more usable if they had a 27-inch display instead of a 24-inch, because everything doesn't quite fit. So every single view in visions, you are scroll up, scroll down. Monitors are so cheap these days that there's no reason not to. Anyway, the desks are $750 each. So we have funds in the wellness. We didn't spend last year's wellness funds, and we also have ARPA money. I've requested that we move $1,000 worth of ARPA money towards this, and $600 coming from the wellness fund, and expect to see more purchase requests. Depends on if it fits. If it's over the $500 limit, you won't see it, but they need to buy a pedestal because these desks don't have drawers, etc. And so there will be more things going on, and it's not just in this department. It'll also be in PD. So that we're spending, that we're going to be spending some of the ARPA money on.
I mean, I have to give up on the 1926 desk.
Yeah.
Well, if you don't want to.
No,
I
we
mean, it's so heavy, it takes 2 people.
Yeah, so are we able, because we can't get funds, are we able to just sell those desks, so it's not one more thing, we're just stacking
Yes.
that back there?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we can surplus the desks.
Right away, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we're gonna move back there, and I think what we're becoming is let's surplus the junk in the back.
Okay.
As one item, because most of it's ancient. From when Jerry was here, the computers from when Jerry was here.
Before that.
I'm not.
And before that, yeah, we don't need it. Anything else want to discuss on that?
So you're only getting 2 gifts.
We're only getting 2 desks right now, because that's $1,500. We're going to, well, they're going to get the pedestals. We've got budget for some office things. We're not asking for any big purchases yet right now. I'm assuming the new mayor will be part of that. Unless we can get new displays this year, I'm not sure. But this is just for 2 desks. I just wanted to
Are you
Sure,
not
the
gonna
big
ask
picture.
for chairs as well?
Yeah, that's my question too.
we aren't ready to ask for chairs. I think we want to get I mean, there's things that we need new chairs. There's a mat that you need to stand on. So we have yet to figure out how that's going to work with the chair and the mat. I manage the same situation at home. So I have a mat that I push forward when I'm sitting, and then I pull back when I'm standing.
The nice part about these desks is after you've been sitting for an hour, you can stand up and work standing up.
And they're electric. You press a button and it goes to a pre-programmed your height. It's very nice, and they're L-shaped. They're 72-inch wide, so they'll have the entire left, and they're configurable left or right mirror. So they'll have the entire side for whatever paperwork projects laid out. Enough depth so that I end up with most of my time with paper in front, my keyboard ahead of that, monitors up off the desk so that they can push the keyboard forward.
And they have the floor space to get basically bigger mats. I mean,
Yeah, the problem with the mat you want is a thick mat. It's a stand.
It's the foam one,
It's a
so the
foam for
chairs
your
don't.
feet. Yeah, and the chairs won't want to roll on that, so we've got to figure out how we want to do that. That's why I went with a smaller map, because I wanted, you know, it's like an inch and a half thick,
When you, when you go to say it.
and I just slide it forward again. That'll come, remember something like that.
First and
And we got a first and a second, any other discussion? No, okay, all in favor,
Aye.
and opposed? Great. I guess you're all waiting for me next thing. Unfinished business, ordinance, do we have a ordinance 791 read 2?
We're just changing the
We're
date.
changing the effective date.
I make a motion that we approve ordinance 791 read 2, effective date correction.
Right, motion in a second on read 2. Read 2 again is allows us to collect 1/4% on the home sale.
And we miscalculated the 90-day waiting period for the county. And the county pointed that out to us, and so we've corrected it. The clock doesn't stop ticking. We're just correcting the actual date
Okay,
on the ordinance.
fantastic. Any other discussion, any more? No? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
And opposed? Motion carries.
I make a motion that we fully execute the Winlock Building Inspection Service ILA.
All right, we have a motion on second to fully execute the Winlock Building Inspection Service ILA. Any further discussion? What does fully execute on this mean? What's the difference?
All signatures.
Oh, that was very, I said we bring this back to council.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Because the effective date wasn't in place
Because we-
and
yeah.
the hourly rate for the plan review wasn't in place.
Okay, and so, yeah, and so we settled that on at $75 fixed for inspection, and $55 we also got our money
Correct.
or per hour, or.
That's what we.
Yes.
Yes.
Great, yes, and Winlock did pass that on their council meeting after ours.
Yep, I see the sign.
And they had a couple questions, they pretty much just wanted to make sure that their person had the time to do it, which we already knew, and that, and the scope of work. So they wanted us to confirm that we weren't asking for planning type work, and I assured them it was strictly just to inspect. All right.
We need a,
We need to vote on that. No, we voted on that.
no, we didn't.
We
We need
didn't
a
vote.
vote. Nice, first and a second.
Thank you. Any
No,
further discussion? Okay, all in favor? And opposed? That's it. Okay, so I have one other business item, training paid for. It sounds like
Yeah,
AWC will,
from what I have learned, if you look on the AWC website, if you are signed in under your council sign-in, like, and you have you been?
Yeah.
Yeah, that you can, from there, sign yourself in, and cities under 5,000, they have a code that you can copy and just drop that code into where it says, if you have a special code, put it in here.
and the places where they didn't have a code before, I emailed the person that they list in there as being responsible for it and said, hey, I'm a tiny city, Toledo. And they responded by
Yeah.
giving.
Well, they're still waiting to see who we're sending for free. Obviously, I'm waiting to see who's gonna be there, because we're gonna definitely wanna send that person. And then I think there were 2 extra spots. Yeah, Rebecca and. Was it Kathy? Yeah, so we're just waiting to see. I think the code that you're talking about is the 50% code.
No, it said, it said, if you're a city under 5,000.
I think those are, yeah, those training, I think they pay for that.
The elected officials?
Yeah, they'll pay for it. That's what it said, I mean.
That's the one that we, came out with, I think it was 2 meetings ago, and we had all the classes that were needed, there was only 2 people that we were able to send for free. So I know they've reached out to me a couple of times to try to figure out who we're sending.
What are the costs of?
I think it was $90.
That's the December 9th.
Correct.
I'm going up to that one and only be at Sandy's.
Does somebody want to make a motion that we pick these?
Mhm.
I mean, we have the funds, most of the council does not.
I'm gonna make a motion that we approve funds to pay for the elected officials training for 2023.
I'll second.
Or whoever is not paid.
Yeah.
Yes,
Or whomever
yes,
is not.
okay. They'll be able to pay for that. Most council and the mayor currently is not taking pay, so we have money left over in that account.
Yeah, and again, I was just waiting to see kind of how, where everything fell.
Any further discussion on that?
Do you have a second?
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
And any further discussion? No. All in favor?
Yes.
Oh, go ahead.
I would recommend that we go through Rachel, since she's the one that's.
And have her organize this.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
And mine is already done.
That's okay, just shoot me. And then any of those certificates that you're getting, make sure you email those to me too.
All in favor?
Uh,
Opposed? Okay, there we go. Now, public input. Jake, you said something.
Yeah, I have a couple of things, if you want the timing. I helped Emily with the recycling event, last weekend at the Wallace Pond. And more than half of the stuff that came in had been buried. Like the TVs and the appliances and the tires and scrap metal. And they were like, great, we don't have to bury it. So it's covered in dirt and and when the tires are full of muddy water. But there's a huge one. We were only open for 4 hours and we filled up all those stuff. That was great, and it took all that trash off of the ground and stuff, and it's being recycled and people like free. So we want to keep doing that twice a year and make it really advertised. The second thing, there's an election tomorrow. There's 3 council seats in the mayor. If you've already voted, thank you for voting. If you please vote if you haven't yet. Go to the ballot box and just throw them in the mail. It's free. The third thing, the Veterans Day, we're gonna have a ceremony at the Veterans Wall of Honor here at Camp Olson. The VFW is gonna put it on, and the Boy Scouts will be there, and the Lions Club, and everybody. It's the 11th at 11 a.m. And there's gonna be tents and stuff and chairs and stuff. So please come and pay your respects. And then the last thing, the Lions are doing turkey bingo. Again, it's gonna be on the Friday before Thanksgiving. It's November 17th at 6 p.m. at Toledo Elementary School. And we're trying to keep this for Toledo people, not to everybody in Longview and Centralia and stuff coming in, because there won't be anywhere to sit and stuff, but it's also, the fee is a donation of $1 or a can of food per card, and then all that money that you raise is going to the Toledo Neighbors Program.
Fantastic.
So we've done that. Before that was the third thing. I think there's 25 turkeys or something, and we're gonna give out, and then the big one, and then there's a whole bunch of little game hacks and stuff too, so. Yeah, it's, if you like bingo, free food is great fun. That's it, thank you.
Thank you, Jake, and thank you for the brevity. Go ahead.
I did want to say thanks to everybody that did make it out to meet the candidates tonight. It was great to see the amount of people that did show up and took an interest in what's going on within the town. And again, like Jake said, we do have the election tomorrow. I'm sure most people have voted, but if you have not, definitely make sure you do. I know we are working, like you said, with the Lions Club, so we'll be taking donations. The neighbors, if you know anybody who is in need, we'll be doing our distribution the Sunday right before Thanksgiving. So we're picking up all of our turkeys and stuff this week. And we should have a pretty good amount of turkeys. So if you guys know anybody, we're gonna be doing the best we can to try to put together full meals. I know we do have quite a few grants and we've had a lot of donations come in recently. So anybody that's in need, and we are always looking for volunteers. If you guys just want to get out, hang out with your community members, we welcome anybody there on Saturdays or Sundays. We're out there both days.
Thank you, Jerry. Jerry.
Yeah, that's what the public works here. We
we know it's starting to rain out there. And I haven't seen the gutter cleaned, street gutter in years, the one on Toledo Highway next to my house. I've done it myself, I'm tired of getting wet. The culvert across Slough needs to be cleaned out before it goes back under my road, which I just picked up. Fixing it and, so he can do plastic. It works to, go out there and clean those out for sure. And two, nothing personal, but when I call City Hall and ask them, you want to call me? I'm not gonna get the message. I mean, it was like 2 weeks ago, I go to the campaign meeting and, he said, I didn't get no message. So it would be nice to do one of those things. Thank you.
Thank you, notes taken.
I think
Anybody
you
else?
think I missed this? Yeah, I don't. Enjoy every minute of you guys can have.
Okay, great, thank you. Anybody else?
So Toledo Thursday Market, we're winding down a little bit. We'll be going through till probably the second week in December. Right now, we're starting to plan for next year, but more importantly, we're also doing the big winter warming coat drive for the Toledo Neighbors Program. So if you don't think about it, or if you, just go outside your bare feet and t-shirt right now and see if you think somebody might need a coat. So clean your closets out. Bring it to the market if you could. We're collecting things right up until the week before Thanksgiving. We'll take everything over there. We've already got a pretty good pile started, but there's always room for more. For next year, we're looking at getting a grant. Our biggest problem in the summer out there is drying. Pretty much, there's no tree, there's no grass, nothing. So I'm looking at portable shade structures that we can put up, just shade cloth with PVC, and I'm sketching things out. I'm trying to shoot for that. I'll know more about that probably in February. But we're going to try to set up. We're going to start live music again. We've got the money set aside for that. We're going to try and offset some of the lack of tourism because with St. Helens closed, we couldn't get up there. We lost most of our tourists that were just going through. We're going to try to get some things so I can get more people back into the market, music being one of them, and not incinerating yourself when you're out there in July is another one.
It's pretty hard.
They're trying to make something, because it's gonna be quite a while for that space. They're trying to make something of Coldwater Creek, in the meantime, so.
Yeah, it was
Fingers
just
crossed.
depressing to see signs on, all the way down on the I-5, St. Helens is closed. Thanks, guys.
I know, right?
Yeah. The other thing we're looking at doing is we're thinking about doing a pumpkin growing contest next year. I've looked at, we've got a lot of people that grow stuff. I think it would be a ton of fun. I'm gonna give a bunch of prize money, doing some logistics, but when we open market in the spring, we're gonna be pushing that because that's what people are gonna want to be getting their bottom started.
Yeah.
So it could be a real fun thing to do.
It warms my heart to hear three major volunteer organizations coming together. It's very happy for all that you do. Anybody else? No?
I make a motion that we
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, we're adjourned. Don't trust me. Cindy, trust me. She has to get my trust.